shit.
Up all night. Staying up all night. Up all night.
Welcome back to the Mantry podcast. I am Reggie, co-founder of Mantry. Today we have a short, sweet, and fun one for you. Today's episode is the lazy person's guide to cooking breakfast for a crowd. So we've assembled some of the best tips we know for cooking breakfast. Everybody knows it. Saturday morning, Sunday morning, you get up, you've got family over, maybe you've got a crew of friends over, maybe you've invited them over because you're a good person. But here's some quick tips about cooking breakfast for a crowd, the lazy version. So let's start you off with a quote, one of the great quotes of all time, John Gunther: "All happiness depends on a leisurely breakfast." Ain't that right? So number one, breakfast is meant to be lazy, so be lazy. So you can go from being a bad cook to a good cook just by planning a menu properly. Don't try and cook everything at the last minute. Use the oven to keep pancakes and bacon warm. Avoid individually fried eggs and too much complication. Very simple tip. You just got to remember that the goal is to be sitting at the table in your pajamas with your crew and not sweating over souffle pancakes or a way too tough frittata or whatever you got to do. So just go easy on yourself. Do some things that you can keep warm in the oven and pull out at the last minute, instead of trying to cook things a la minute, searing this off and whipping this and whatnot. You'll get into disaster zone with that, with too many tasks. Number two, cooking bacon for a crowd or baking bacon for a crowd. This is a simple tip. Restaurants do it all the time during brunch service. Not a lot of people know. You don't actually have to cook bacon in a frying pan every time. You can get a sheet pan. You can wrap it with aluminum foil, lay out your bacon on a cookie tray or a wire rack if you have it, but you can throw it right on the aluminum foil and throw it into a 375 oven. You throw that in there for 15, 20 minutes till the bacon's crispy, and bang, you've been able to cook off a bunch of bacon, not a lot of smokiness going on, your whole home, you won't set off the smoke alarm. Very simple tip. You can sprinkle a little sugar on there and candy it up if you want to get fancy, but good trick for cooking a lot of bacon at once. Use baking sheets and throw it in the oven. Number three, embrace the bar. By that, we mean anything that you can kind of set up a you serve it type thing. A granola bar is a good example. So you can lay out like homemade or store-bought granola with a couple types of yogurt, fruits, honey, maple syrup, different types of nuts and toppings. People love customization. They love choice. And you don't really have to do anything other than set it up. Or be on coffee duty. So that's a very simple one, is just embrace any customized bar. Another good example, the old bagel bar. Love it as a brunch trick for a bunch of people. Lay out a couple different types of bagels, the toaster, and then, maybe make a couple flavored cream cheeses, lay out some smoked salmon, red onion, capers. People love this. They'll come over. You're not really doing anything except setting up an assembly line, but feeds a crowd. Everybody loves choice. Everybody loves bagels. I don't know if you should associate yourself with people that don't enjoy, a bagel with some smoked salmon or a bit of almond butter or something on it. And it's a great trick for cooking breakfast quickly for a crowd. So 4, consider oatmeal. There are plenty of creative ways to spruce up oatmeal, and you can feed an army very quickly and very cheaply. So same type of idea. You can lay out a couple different toppings, caramelize some apples, crisp off some bacon, little maple syrup. Boom. People can throw together a little bacon, maple syrup, caramelized apple, oatmeal combination going on. You can lay out some fruits, some berries, different types of yogurt again, honey. Let people customize. Oatmeal is warm, it's comforting, it can be really tasty. You can think way beyond the kind of bland, instant, watery stuff that maybe you're accustomed to with your grandparents or your parents or something like that. But oatmeal is really easy, and it can feed an army, and it's very cheap. Good trick. 5, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, but people love tacos, and breakfast tacos are an awesome idea if you're cooking for a crowd and you want to be pretty lazy, because basically you can scramble off some eggs, throw them in the oven, covered. You can throw wrap a couple tortillas up in some towels and throw them in the oven as well, so you got those things hot. And then at the last minute, you just pull out, your warm eggs, your tortillas. You can lay out some avocado, a little pickled red onion, some cotija cheese or whatever cheese you have on hand, a couple bottles of hot sauce. If you're a Mantry subscriber, we'll hook you up with those. And boom, you can do a breakfast taco bar. I mean, these aren't rocket science tips, but it's good to put them in your head. And a lot of people overthink breakfast. They think that they have to sit there and fry eggs individually, and everybody needs to have 2 nicely fried eggs with some hash browns and some bacon. Go easy. Like, do breakfast tacos. You can make them for a crowd. People adore tacos, and it's easy stuff. We have a nice little breakdown in the blog post, in the show notes of this. A couple of great recipes we found from around the net. One is our sweet potato breakfast tacos from Mantry.com. Bon Appetit has an awesome breakdown of breakfast tacos, actually, we put up there, and Food and Wine also had a really good breakfast taco recipe, so we included those in the show notes. That is it. How do you like that for short and sweet? But that's what this Mantry podcast is all about. Quick, simple tips to help you cook better that you can digest daily, and you'll become a better cook just through listening. As I always say, cooking is a lot like learning an instrument. If you understand some theory before you actually sit down at the piano or the guitar, you're going to be way, way, way more prepared to succeed. And so if you listen to us, we'll give you a couple tips, and you'll be able to tackle the kitchen and be a lot better once you get in there. So the 4 tips today for the lazy person's guide to cooking breakfast for a crowd is: 1, breakfast is meant to be lazy, so be lazy. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Use that oven to keep pancakes warm, to keep bacon warm. You don't need to be individually frying eggs, all that stuff. 2, you want to bake bacon for a crowd. Use a nice sheet pan, cover it with some aluminum foil, throw it in at 375. Throw in 2 if you want, if you need to do a big batch. 3, embrace the self-service. We gave the example of the granola bar, also like the oatmeal bar. We always say consider oatmeal, as it is very cheap. It's warm, it's comforting. You can throw all sorts of toppings on top of the counter, and people can customize it all they want. And finally, people love tacos. Number 5, people love tacos. Consider the breakfast taco. It is a great way to kick off a morning. And we will finish again with the famous quote: all happiness depends on a leisurely breakfast. That is the truth. You have a good chill breakfast on a Sunday morning with your crew, and you're off for a good day. So I'm Reggie. I am a co-founder at Mantry. If you enjoy this, share this. We got no marketing budget behind this thing, so it just relies on word of mouth, and we enjoy presenting these to you. We work hard to put these tips together, and so we hope you give it a share, and we hope you come back and tune in. So get out there and get cooking. Thanks for listening.